Welcome to Story Time. Tonight's episode is titled Twilight Tales, where peace and stillness settle into the night. The sky began to soften as the last hues of daylight faded, blending into deep purples and soft blues. It was that magical time between day and night, the twilight hour, when the world seemed to pause, caught between light and darkness. In this quiet moment, everything appeared to slow down, as if the earth itself was preparing to rest. In a small, peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and quiet streams, the twilight was especially cherished. The villagers always spoke of twilight as a time for reflection, a gentle bridge between the activity of the day and the stillness of the night. They called it the hour of stories, where old tales were told and new ones were born. It was believed that twilight held a special kind of magic, one that could soothe even the most restless soul. On the outskirts of the village stood a little house, hidden beneath the canopy of a large, ancient tree. The tree's branches stretched wide, providing a cool, protective shade over the house during the day and standing as a silent guardian at night. The house itself was humble and welcoming, with warm golden lights glowing softly from the windows, casting a comforting glow into the approaching darkness. Inside the house lived an old storyteller named Eleanor. She had a gentle voice and eyes that sparkled with the wisdom of countless tales. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and twilight descended, Eleanor would sit in her favorite armchair by the window, watching the sky change colors. The air would grow cooler, and the first stars would begin to twinkle faintly in the distance. It was her favorite time of day. The twilight always reminded her of stories she had heard in her youth, stories of forgotten lands and whispered dreams. Eleanor believed that twilight was when the world's most beautiful stories were hidden, just waiting to be told. And so, every evening, she would open her window to let the cool twilight air drift in, carrying with it the soft sounds of the world preparing for sleep. On this particular evening, the twilight seemed especially calm. The wind had slowed to a gentle breeze, barely rustling the leaves outside, and the village below was already quiet, with only the occasional flicker of a lantern in the distance. Eleanor wrapped a soft, woolen blanket around her shoulders and settled deeper into her chair. It was the perfect night for a story. As she gazed out into the twilight, she thought of a tale her grandmother used to tell her, a story about the magic that lived in the twilight, in those quiet moments just before darkness fully settled. It was said that if you listened closely enough, you could hear the whispers of the twilight, guiding you gently towards sleep, like a lullaby sung by the stars themselves. Eleanor closed her eyes, letting the stillness of the evening settle over her. The warmth of her blanket, the gentle glow of the lantern beside her, and the cool twilight breeze worked together to create a cocoon of calm. She could feel the peacefulness of the night beginning to wash over her, and with it came the familiar comfort of storytelling. Once upon a twilight, she began softly, her voice barely more than a whisper. There was a place where the sun never truly set, and the night never fully began. In this place, time moved slowly, like the softest breeze across a field of wildflowers. The light of the sun would blend into the shadows of the night, creating a perfect harmony between day and darkness. It was a place of peace, where every heart could rest and every soul could find stillness. Eleanor's voice was like a soft lullaby, carrying with it the soothing rhythm of the twilight. Outside, the first few stars began to twinkle more brightly, casting their delicate light over the village. The world seemed to exhale, as if the very earth was releasing all the tension and noise of the day, settling into the quiet embrace of the night. In this twilight world, Eleanor continued, there lived a gentle spirit, known only as the Keeper of the Evening. The Keeper's task was simple yet profound, to guide the world from day into night, ensuring that every living creature found rest before the darkness fully arrived. The Keeper moved like the wind, unseen and unnoticed, yet always present. With each passing evening, the Keeper would whisper softly to the world, telling stories of peace, of calm, of dreams waiting just beyond the horizon. The wind outside the window stirred slightly, as if responding to Eleanor's words. She smiled to herself, feeling the familiar comfort of the twilight settle into her bones. There was something timeless about this moment, as if the night itself was listening to her tale, eager for the peace it promised. The Keeper, she went on, knew that every heart carried the weight of the day, worries, thoughts, and troubles that lingered long after the sun had set. And so, the keeper would walk through the twilight, gathering all those heavy thoughts and casting them into the night sky, where they would dissolve into the stars. Each star, shining softly in the night, was a reminder that even the heaviest burdens could be transformed into light. Eleanor paused for a moment, gazing out at the stars that now filled the sky. They twinkled like diamonds against the deep indigo backdrop, their soft light creating a blanket of calm over the village. It was as if the world itself was beginning to drift off to sleep, lulled by the gentle rhythm of the night. As the keeper moved through the twilight, she continued, her voice growing even softer. The world would grow quieter, the air cooler, and the stars brighter. The keeper would hum a soft tune, a melody that only the night could hear. It was a song of rest, of dreams, of release. And as the song filled the air, every creature, every soul, would feel the weight of the day slip away. The worries would fade, the thoughts would quiet, and sleep would come like a gentle wave, washing over the world. Eleanor's eyes grew heavy as she spoke, the peacefulness of the night pulling her into its embrace. The stars outside twinkled brighter now, their light shimmering softly through the window. The village was silent, save for the faint rustling of the leaves in the breeze and the distant call of a night bird. It was the perfect night for sleep. The keeper's work was never done, Eleanor whispered, her voice barely audible now. Each night, the keeper would walk through the twilight, guiding the world into rest. And as the world slept, the keeper would watch over the dreams of every creature, ensuring that they were peaceful, that they were filled with light and hope. And in the morning, when the sun rose once again, the keeper would disappear into the light, waiting for the twilight to return. Eleanor's voice trailed off into the silence of the night. The story had come to an end, but the peace it had brought lingered in the air. Outside, the stars continued to twinkle, their soft light a reminder of the quiet magic of the twilight. The village was asleep now, the world at rest, and Eleanor herself felt the pull of sleep tugging at her. With a contented sigh, she let her eyes close fully, her body relaxing into the warmth of the blanket and the stillness of the night. The twilight had done its work, guiding her gently toward the peace of sleep. And as she drifted off, she felt the presence of the keeper, watching over her dreams, ensuring that they were light and calm and filled with hope. Good night, and sleep well.